There's a number of people out there that consider themselves students of Alex Hormozi. I consider myself one. Reading all of the books, the courses, investing in ACQ AI and the playbooks, it's been enlightening and insightful, condensing potentially years of learning into a matter of months. But no methodology is perfect. You have to adapt and apply what you learn to the real world that you're facing on your own journey. So in this video, I'm going to share something that I haven't seen a lot of online, which is when a grand slam offer goes bad. For those in that Hormozi space who are aware of the offers framework and leads framework, and most recently the money models framework, offers kind of is the base of the pyramid. And it's one that I've been putting into practice with my own business and my clients' businesses for years. Most recently, I put together a Grand Slam offer that I was confident in because it was built through the lens of money models and a lot of work with the ACQ AI, a custom trained AI chatbot that is trained on all of Alex Hormozi's books, playbooks, and consulting notes. So I felt pretty solid on this. Moreover, it was a offer I was making to long-standing clients that were in a strong position. We had good signals. We've been working together for close to a year at $1,000 a month. The big idea was, hey, renew for annual. You've been going now 8 months in a row of month to month at $1,000. All signals are pointing that we're going to continue working together. There's plenty of more work to do. We get consistent positive feedback on our monthly kind of performance check-in. Your second in command is giving me consistent positive signals that things are on course. So, if we've worked together for close to 1 year successfully, we could imagine we'd work together for the next year, continuing to build upon the success. That's kind of been the hallmark of my work as a fractional integrator. Not one project, one time. It's a consistent track record of delivering results, generating ROI, and fulfilling the promise that I make to all of my clients, which is the value you get from the engagement will always be greater than the amount you've invested into it. You can imagine my surprise when, after I made a grand slam offer to one of my longer standing operator tier clients, it was unceremoniously shut down and the engagement ended. It became a grand flop offer. Now, hear me out. I did this in a very calculated manner. I floated the concept a month prior to the client's second in command, just trying to get a feeler out there. Hey, I was thinking about offering an annual package where instead of what we're doing month to month, you invest in annual and you'll get 2 months for free, basically. So there'll be like a $2,000 savings. In addition to that, I'm going to put a bunch of bonuses that are meaningful. They have tangible, real world value. Right now, you're paying $1,000 a month for a specific scope of work. That's one 90-minute deep dive workshop on a monthly basis and one production credit, one task executed on a weekly basis. That typically looks like an artifact produced, a strategic deliverable in alignment with the overall strategy execution system we're building. So think of quarterly objectives and project plans and business modeling artifacts. That's the scope of work for $1,000 a month. Not only will you save $2,000 by investing in annual upfront, I'm going to give you some additional insane bonuses. First of all, if you think on a quarterly basis with that pre-existing scope of work, we're spending 3 to 4 weeks worth of production credits just building our quarterly plans. So that's our high level planning horizon, 3-year, 1 year, 90-day planning horizons. And then unpacking those 90-day goals, making them smart, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time bound, so we can discuss in an explicit manner. We can point to a page that's clearly defining our goals for the quarter, those key initiatives that are going to help move the needle toward and scale the business towards its target state. And then there's a project management element where we're saying, great, we've got SMART goals, but what does it actually mean? Task-based context. Like, how do we discern what needs to get done on a daily and weekly basis? All of that production work requires credits, time, bandwidth allocation, and fractional operations leadership engagement at this operator tier is subscription based, heavily AI enabled, and allows the engagement to be very accessible at $1,000 a month, very predictable in terms of how much bandwidth we can allocate, but also very agile with what we can apply that bandwidth towards. So I said, hey, you guys invest in the annual, not only will you save $2,000 on an annual basis, it's 2 months for free that you would have been paying for anyways. I'm also going to do the quarterly planning at no cost. So we can keep all the bandwidth on a monthly basis into strategy execution as opposed to just strategy formulation. So we're not going to have to spend the finite credits, the finite time we have towards producing like the actual plans. It'll just be executing them. When calculated, that was $4,000 worth of value over the course of a year and real services that they're actually paying for over the last year for free, just for investing money, just for making the annual commitment. In addition to the $2,000 saved, that would be $4,000 of real world professional services rendered over the course of a year at no cost as a bonus. The second piece was expanding the offerings that we're bringing. We have a number of other operator clients that aren't just on strategy execution, they're on content marketing. We've built a media machine that's incredibly powerful. It leverages automation and founder-led storytelling, and it's been a lot of fun. We use a multi-format distribution approach where we have long-form video, short-form video, static assets with copy, custom imagery, carousels, and polls. It's been a lot of fun building that over the last year. And we haven't got a chance to offer that to a few of our other operator clients. So I said, I'm going to give you 3 months of that service for free. That's an additional $3,000 worth of value right there that other people are literally paying for. You would have to pay for it if you wanted to spend your operator credits on that. You're going to get it for free just for making that investment. And then lastly, there's just some other things regarding a batch of additional time that we could use at our discretion of workshop time, which ended up being over $4,000 worth of consulting credits that we could just meet and hammer away at business development. It was unceremoniously discarded and the engagement was ended. I got fired for making this offer, which is mind-blowing, but it ultimately comes down to the realization that culture fit and base compatibility are the most important aspects for any operations leadership engagement. As a COO, as an integrator, when you're working in a fractional capacity, even as a consultant, when you're working in that heavily involved capacity when you have a lot of oversight, the personality fit between the service provider and the client is essential. And beyond that, the culture fit, the values alignment, these things are non-negotiables. Because at the very end, what ended up happening was the client revealed their true face. And after months of consistently singing praises about my support for their work and the quality of the engagement and how invaluable we were, I told my colleague that I haven't been spoken down to like that since I was at Marine Corps boot camp. The condescension and disrespect that was brought back in an email to me was so bizarre and unprecedented. I had to triple check that it was actually meant for me and that I sent. What I thought I sent was, hey guys, things have been going really great. Over the last month, I've rendered a bunch of additional free service just to lead us into this, which is basically giving multiple weeks of free weekly planning sessions in addition to the bandwidth that we're allocated that they're paying for just to kind of prove out the model. So, I mean, we're at the point where I was saying, I'll give you over $10,000 of professional services for free over the coming year, and you're going to save 2Gs over the course of a year. You guys are scaling like gangbusters. Everything sounds good. Your right-hand man told me for the last month this is the way to go. So here's the offer. And I got metaphorically decapitated for that. I think it all comes down to the culture fit. The true face that was revealed there was not just a significant lack of professionalism, but a grotesque inability to maintain a spirit of collaboration. I think environmental factors were contributing to a heightened sense of stress. Try to give the benefit of the doubt where I can, and take responsibility for the ultimate outcome. I fall on the position that it's meant to be and that the branching apart was inevitable. So it's so important to make those decisions early on. And there were certainly signals throughout the engagement of the lack of professionalism and the lack of common courtesy and respect and severe emotional volatility. But you look past those things, again, trying to give the benefit of the doubt. And what you land on is you want to drive results, you want to deliver outcomes and move the needle for your clients. And those things seem immaterial. But time and time again, over the course of my career, I've seen that they're far from immaterial, that they're actually some of the most important aspects to any professional engagement. All right, thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.